Okay, everybody. My name is Lisa, and I am so excited to have as our special guest speaker Miss Diamond Ambassador Lindsey Russell. She is my direct upline, and somewhere I am sure she is your upline as well. And we are so excited to have her. This is a tips from the top. Miss Lindsey is a mama, stay-at-home mama. She used to be a teacher, and I'm sure all of y'all know her story on the team, but those that are watching the recording may not know. She's stay-at-home mama now of 3 little ones, and she has number 4 on the way, and she is so fabulous and wonderful, and we all love her so much. And she is on Leaders Board all the time, so she must be doing something right, and we're going to find out what that is today. So we're going to hear her tips. So I'm just going to give it to you, Miss Lindsey. Thank you for being on the call.
Yes, you're so sweet. Can you hear me okay? Okay, anytime you can't hear me, just interrupt me, okay? And that is so sweet. I'm on the leaderboard because you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing. I get red and blush every time I see myself because I'm like, that should not be my name. It should be y'all because y'all are doing the work too. So I do have a fabulous team. And Lisa, many of you know kind of a little snippet story of how we met, but I was fortunate enough to teach Luke for a couple weeks in kindergarten. And so Lisa and I met for like one parent-teacher conference in the very beginning. Loved her, I adored her. She had actually just had a miscarriage, and we just were just bonded in that meeting. It was just a sweet, sweet time. So we stayed connected on Facebook, and she happened to like one of my posts, and I reached out to her, and it's been fun ever since then. So you never know what kind of connections that you're making, and the sovereignty of the Lord is just so sweet. So, but anyway, I just want to tell you a little bit about my spørry first. I'm going to check my time. Before I kind of get started, Lisa's got some questions that she has for me. So, and I have my water. Yes, I am pregnant with my 4th, and so if I'm out of breath, it's because everything is moving up here. I have about 8 weeks to go, so if I'm a little bit out of breath, just know that my stomach is in my chest. So, for those of you that don't know me, I started Plexus about 6 months after Julia Carty, who's my sponsor and Diamond Upline, after she started. I saw her start posting. Her and I were very dear friends from college, and I saw her start posting. And at this time, there was a couple of other companies, probably 3 or 4, that were posting things. And I always was just like, I never really was mean or rolled my eyes, but I just didn't pay any of it attention. I had several people, looking back now, you think hindsight's 2020. I had several people that would, what we know is now cold message me or stuff about that, but I mean, and kind of mention something about the business, but I just never really paid it any attention because I didn't have a connection really with a lot of these people. But Julia, I had a very strong connection with. So she says that she called me, and I believe that she did. I just don't remember the conversation, probably because I had a little baby at the time and I was just blurry. But she was really good about staying connected and reaching out. So she did call all of her very close friends. I just don't remember the conversation, or either I just ignored it and just moved on to something else in the conversation. But a few posts at the very beginning grabbed my attention just because it was something I never, ever would have thought that she did. And so that was intriguing to me. And she continued to post, and that was even more intriguing. She was really consistent, and she was fun. I mean, I loved watching her post because, in general, not just Plexus, but just, she was just that Pinterest mom that you're like, but you want to watch her because you're like, how do you do this? And I always joke because here I was at home in the middle of nowhere. I live in Raymer, which is teeny tiny. We're like 45 minutes away from Target. So I was here. My husband worked all the time. Like, was gone out of town all the time. Y'all heard me tell the story. Like, when my second baby was born, he was literally gone for the first 5 months of her life, like Monday through Thursday night, every single week for the first 4 or 5 months. So here I am in the middle of nowhere, nursing a baby, chasing a 2.5-year-old. Nobody's close by to me. I haven't showered in days, may have brushed my teeth that morning, may have not. And I see all these fun things that she's doing this cute pink drink, and they're going all these places. She's making all these crafts and having all this energy. And I just wanted to scream because I'm like, I feel horrible. And I truly didn't just feel physically horrible. I did not realize it at the time. But with Silas, I did not have like any baby blues. I felt fine. I mean, I was tired, but I felt emotionally fine. But with Anna Margaret, I really got in a really deep, dark place that I had never been before, and just thought that it was normal. I just thought that it was normal to feel exhausted and just sad and lonely just because of the situation and all those kind of feelings that I look back now and realize what I was going through. I just didn't understand it at the time. But so when Anna Margaret was about 4.5 months old, I had been watching Julia all this time, and I saw a couple of posts that really, I still remember to this day. I can see them in my mind. And one of them was about a little boy who had leukemia, and was going through chemo, and how his doctor had approved the supplements from Plexus. And that was the first time I thought, wait, this is different. Like, these are like legit products. Like, doctors are recommending them and approving them for, cancer patients. Wait, and it just kind of grabbed my attention because, like most of y'all probably have someone close to you that's been, affected by cancer. And I had 2 close family members at the time that were going through that. So that really made me pay attention more to the legitimacy, I guess. And then the next post that I will always remember is a funny picture, just a little cartoon character of a mom at the doctor's office, and she had her shirt inside out, holy yoga pants, and just her hair was crazy, and it was just a funny little cartoon clip. And the doctor said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, you have what's called children." And I think most moms, just agree that you think you're supposed to feel like this. Like, this is just normal. This is just mom life. You're supposed to be exhausted and drinking, coffee and Diet Cokes. And that's just what moms do. You wear yoga pants and you don't wash your hair for days, and you just look and feel terrible for this season of life. And these cute little old women tell you in the grocery store, "Oh, just enjoy it." And you want to say, "I'm trying to." But that's really just that crazy season I was in. And I messaged Julia, and I was like, okay, I want to do this. What do I need? I knew I need the probiotic. I know Chad needs the probiotic. He was traveling all the time, eating out all the time. I'm like, what do I need to get? And that was after Thanksgiving. So many of you may have seen the post on Jewel Heist. I signed up like the Friday, or maybe even the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I think it was the Friday. And signed up, really had no understanding of the business. She never really mentioned working the business. I just knew that I needed the products. Like, I knew that I needed them. I knew that I was just desperate, in a very desperate place, and timing was perfect. So I signed up on a Friday, and she added me to a team pages, several at the time. It was hers, Angie's, Ellen's, Andrea's. I think it was 4 or 5. And I felt like the most popular person because my phone kept having all these notifications all the time. When you first sign up and you're on all these team pages, it's just like all the time. And so that Sunday, I remember being in our garage, and that both of the kids were asleep. So I'm like, I'm not moving. And at that time, they were like the most sensitive sleepers. So I had like left the engine on, didn't even turn it off, had the radio still on, like, "Hey, love," and just started playing on my phone and noticing all these notifications. And I remember watching a video by Andrea on her team page. And I just signed up. Now what? Top 10 steps to get started. And that just like attracted me because I'm like, okay, 10 quick steps. I just signed up. I can do this. And then I started seeing, she said, okay, you need to post. You need to do this. You need to do this. And I was like, wait, what? And I started paying more attention. And I started reading through the team pages and realizing, oh my goodness, like, people are doing this. This looks fun. It looks like they're, really doing okay. I didn't know how much Julia was making at the time. I had no idea. And then I really saw a lot of testimonies, and I started seeing things that people in my family had and that people were getting help with. And I was like, what have I fallen into here? And so I'm a rule follower. I typed up a little post, and I was like, I wonder if this sounds like a good post. And I remember texting it to Julia and saying, hey, does this sound okay? I think I'm going to post this tomorrow. And she was like, wait, what? We need to talk on the phone. I didn't know you wanted to work the business. So I was like, oh, I didn't either. I didn't really consider myself working the business. I was just excited. So that's kind of how I got started with business. And then I remember my very first post, y'all, I had not gotten my products in. And I got a message. And the first question they asked me was, how long have you been on these products? And I was like, oh, I haven't really tried them yet. I'm just excited to try them. And I told her, I was like, I know a lot of my friends have done well. And I mean, not done well, but on the products. And anyway, that girl ended up being an ambassador, which is a funny story. But I was just excited, you know. And so about, let's see, that was December. I'm checking my time real quick. Let's see. In January, I went to Super Saturday, which I'm a huge fan of. So if you have not registered, please go on and register tonight. You will love, love, love it, and you will come away, I promise, with a fresh look. It's so much fun. I had to take Chad with me because none of my babies, Lillian was the only one that would kind of sort of take a bottle. But at that time, Anna Margaret would not touch anything. So I took him with me as my chaperone so I could climb in the back seat and nurse her on the way to Mississippi, I think it was. And Jen Hawkins, which is one of our uplines, one of the only 2 double diamonds in the whole company, and both of them are on our team. She spoke, and I remember thinking, what in the world? Like, and all these people were doing well, and like normal people. It wasn't like scary, weird, shady people. You know what I mean? Like, it was really normal, classy people. And I was like, this is so crazy. And I really was like, I can do this. My goal was to double our house payment. Like, that was a big, crazy goal of ours. We are very much don't like debt. We want to be debt free. We want to live. We were just really intentional about being good stewards. And so, like, I was like, Chad, what if we could double our house payment? Because we had done Dave Ramsey, we've done this debt snowball, we'd gotten rid of, you know, several little debts and a couple of big ones. And so I was like, this sounds so exciting. And when I hit that goal, I was like, holy moly, let's keep rolling. And so it has been such an amazing journey, and it's been so fun to see so many people like Lisa do so well and hear the stories of how it's changing their family and how it's changed their future for their children. You know, it's just so amazing. And for the past month, I told you before that my husband was gone all the time, and that continued just up until a month ago, really. Just being gone a lot. Not as much as when I had Anna Margaret, but still, gosh, a good 60 to 70% of the time. And so, anyway, he was able to resign from his job and take his time, like looking for something that, not just something that takes up space, but something that he really wants to do, that's fulfilling to him. And if it takes him 6 months to decide what he wants to do, then I'm okay with that, you know, because I want a husband that is fulfilled in what he's doing, you know. And so that's been a really big blessing, to not stress about insurance, because we can just pay for it, and not stress about tuition for my kids, do not stress about groceries. My goodness, you know, it's been such a gift to be able to have him at home, to be able to have him to take our little boy to school and pick him up. And so it's really, really changed our lives. It's changed how we think about our future. It's changed how we think about helping people. So it's just been such a blessing for us. So thanks for letting me share a little bit. I think I went too long. I'm sorry. But I try to give a little bit more detail on these kind of calls. So that's a little bit about my story.
Thank you. No, I love hearing people's testimonies. That's what this is all about, you know. And if we can't share what this business and these products have done for us, then what are we all here for? You know, I love it. So there's a lot of questions that I could ask you. There's a few that I think are, core to a lot of us, regardless of how long we've been in the business. And some of these may seem simple to some people, but I think that if we can get down to the root of how to do well in this business, how to make the most of the time that we have, the resources that we have, that we can learn what you're doing to be so successful and to follow your lead. So I do have a few questions, and of course, interject other things, as you hear from them. But one of the things is cold messaging. I know that it's a fear for a lot of people. I know that we get chicken sometimes. I still get chicken sometimes to message people on my chicken list. But and I know that you're not a fan of a scripted cold message. But if you could give a quick tip on how you like to send a cold message, let us know.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Lisa, I'm not a fan of a copy and paste because I've gotten those, and I have literally messaged people. It sounds rude, but if you know me, it's not rude. I've literally told a girl one time from a different company, I was like, I really think you need to talk to your upline about some cold messaging tips, because it was so impersonal and so truly cold and like, oh, I wanted to call under a rock. For one thing, y'all, use a person's name. Like, it is like honey, and it's just use a person's name. But I think you've got to know ahead of time. It's a game plan. Sometimes someone just pops in your head, and you think, oh my goodness, I got to message them. You might see something about them having, thyroid issues, and you think, oh my goodness, you can send something right then. But a lot of times, take a few minutes and have 5 well thought out messages, then 25 just copy and paste stuff, like quality over quantity. So think about why you're messaging them. What would cause them to be interested about the products, and why would you want them to be interested in the business? Like, why would they be good at this? Some people most people, y'all, don't see themselves doing well at something like this. It's our job to show that and breathe that life into them so they can see that in themselves, anything that you think, oh, they're going to be good at this because X, Y, Z, tell them that. So I think just be honest, be you, be sincere, and be strategic, and also, like, don't just, sometimes you need to just not beat around the bush. Sometimes you just need to send a message that's not about plexus, okay? Sometimes you need to come out of the barrel running. It just depends on that person's personality. But I always think of this way. If you are nervous to send a message, then think about how you would feel if they went on somebody else's team. And then that kind of makes you buck up a little bit. And then, stay connected with that person, like making personal connections outside of just that cold message. And that goes a little bit into organization, but I feel like I've been telling a lot of people this lately. Get on your computer, spend a couple of minutes making Facebook lists. Make a list for people that are on your potentials, the potential that are on your friends list. Make a list of people that are on your team already, people that you follow, that you get post ideas from. Make a list of current customers and ambassadors or wholesale type things. And that way, when you have sent the message, you can be intentional about staying connected with them. So it's all about a relationship. And I have a lot of people that, come to me and say, gosh, I've been messaging that girl forever, and she ended up joining with someone else. Most times it's because there was a connection there. So my biggest advice is make a connection with people. Hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Because that's so huge, is just making that connection. A lot of times people do come to us just by posting on Facebook or by sharing personally. But Lindsey, if you hadn't have private messaged me, I don't know if I would have reached out to you. I just don't know. So don't underestimate the power of reaching out to other people. And like Lindsey said, if you're scared to do it, that's probably a good thing. That means you really want them on your team. And if they do join somebody else, y'all, and it's happened, it really feels bad. So get over that fear. One of the things, I think Ellen makes a good tip. She says that if you have your chicken list people, to wait till right before you go to bed to message them. You send a quick message, turn off your phone, turn it upside down or put it in the bathroom and go to bed and just be done. You can check it in the morning. So that's a good tip, I think. Another one is time management. So many people say that they have, too many kids, they have too many jobs, they have too many responsibilities, they don't have, maybe someone's a single mom or a single dad, they just don't have the time to work this business. Give us a tip about time management, how we can work this business to make it successful for us.
Right. Well, I think that everybody, and I'm in a different season than like when I first started. I could get everything that I needed to get done when I first got started, literally all in 15 minutes. I mean, everything. Now I have obviously a bigger team, so I spend more time. I'm more invested. But I can, but still, like I was telling my husband, he was talking to somebody about the business, and I was like, even now, where I am, if I'm strategic, some days I spend obviously more, some days I spend less. But honestly, you can get what you need to get done in a couple hours a day, even where I am, if you are strategic and on top of it. So I think having a plan, I always use this example for meal planning. I live in the country, obviously, so I can't just run back and forth to Publix all the time and get what I need. So I try to sit down. It takes me a little bit longer on like Sunday night and make a plan for what I want to have, where I'm going to go that week. I look at my calendar. Okay, we got to go out. We know we're going to be at church Wednesday night. So I know we have this. It takes me a few minutes to plan it out. And that way, when I have those few minutes, I have it written out. Okay, same thing with your Plexus life. Like, treat it like a business. Like, okay, I'm going to be intentional about this. Write out who you're going to contact that week, who you're going to follow up with. Have those things written down. It's been proven statistically, like if you have things actually written out, you are more subject to follow through with them. If you can't find a few minutes throughout the day and you're super, super busy, Brooke Smith gave a really good analogy. When she was teaching full time, she would knock all of her cold messages out on Sunday, and then she would do all of her follow-ups throughout the week. So she'd knock it all out in one day. So just have a plan. Know who you want to contact. Use that Facebook list that I was telling you about. That helps your time so much. You're not floundering through all these random people on your list. You're sitting down and you're being strategic who you're going to contact and connect with. Another thing, Lisa's so good about this. Use time that you're doing other stuff. Like if you're going to be doing laundry, if you're going to be driving back and forth, y'all, I listen to stuff all the time in my car, all the time. I mean, I'm constantly watching what I'm listening to or feeding into. And honestly, this is kind of like tough love, but you might have to give up something, right now. Live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. Give up a little bit of junk TV, y'all. I mean, like, I promise you won't. You think you're going to miss it, but you're really not. DVR that show and let that be like a reward for you for doing your work or whatever. But find out what you're spending a lot of time with and what you really don't need to. And like, look, say if I can put my Plexus time into this, what rewards am I going to see later on? So, and setting a timer. Like if you only have 15 minutes to do your reach outs, set that timer and get on it. When it's done, it's done. And that kind of helps you be more accountable. You're good at time management, Lisa. Do you have anything else? You're really good.
Girl, I just do it when I can, I just do it when I can. I'm sorry, I'm taking notes. I will work Plexus anywhere, anytime, during ballet, while Ryan's driving us somewhere. I'll do it before church. I try not to do anything before church. I will read I try not to reach out to people before church. I feel like that's God's day, but sometimes I'll read something or self-development, which I want to ask you about in just a minute, is so important. Like I'll do something with John Maxwell, or I'll read a book like that or something, which I feel is, personal development with my business, but also in life in general. So, before church, if I have a minute, then I'm sitting in my car for a minute. I'll do that. I have like a 45 or 50 minute drive to church. and drive home. And so I'll listen to a video sometimes. I have a little holder, a phone holder on my dashboard that I just stick my phone up there, and I'll just listen to a video or something. So I do it anywhere, anytime. I would say I even will message people on the toilet, but this is being recorded, so I hate to be too truthful, right? But yeah, I do it anytime, anywhere. And what's funny is that I don't watch a lot of shows. I don't like plan my time around shows. So thankfully, I haven't been like addicted to a series or something that I have to watch this or that. But if I did, I think that it's true, like you, it's a good thing to have a reward and say, okay, if I can do 15 minutes of, okay, I'm going to reach out. Okay, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to, read a book for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it is, and just knock that out. If I have something to look forward to, it's like almost like having dessert at the end of dinner. If I have something to look forward to, eat your veggies, do what you're supposed to do, you're going to have something to look forward to. And to me, the reward is a lot sweeter because you've done what you're supposed to do. And to me, it's a good example for your kids, because I don't just sit around and watch TV after getting home from work. I'm constantly doing something. So, anyway, plus maybe I do need to, there's a lot of shows out there people are addicted to. Maybe I'm missing, I don't know if I'm missing something or not, but I haven't found anything that's caught my attention. Anyway, the next thing real quick, you kind of talked about organization tips a little bit, as far as writing it down, things like that. But as far as Excel, index cards, I know that you're a good old-fashioned girl, pen and paper kind of girl, but maybe give a quick little tip on how people can keep their follow-ups organized and keep their hundreds list organized to where they don't miss anybody and they don't miss following up, which is so crucial.
Right, that is crucial. Not only with your potential, but with your current customers and ambassadors, especially your wholesale ambassadors, pouring into them. I'm a good, just go old-fashioned paper and pencil person, but I'm all about taking what's working and making it better. I feel like some of the best companies, that's kind of their strategy. They just keep getting better and better. So I'm always looking for different ways, not only for me, but to share with different personalities on my team. So there's several follow-up systems out there. If you like the little daily action stack sheets, they're files on Jewel High's page, but you just print them out and fill out the information every day. And so it's kind of like, this is the work that you do every day. When I first got started, I just used a good old-fashioned calendar. I mean, just a cheap old calendar. In fact, I think I even typed one up on Microsoft Word and printed it out. It had my 5, my 3, my 1 every day. Some people did like the index card, and they just take the A's out and go through the A's that week, take the B's out. Andrea Mitchell has a really good video of how she does that, the index cards. Julia is really great about Excel. It's easier for her to hop on her computer and knock that stuff out. There's some people that are like really techie and use some apps, like I think one's called like Follow Me Up or something, and things like that. So there's all kind of little things that you can do. And I'm sure you've heard me say before, the system does not matter as long as you have a system. But because the basics are the same, you know what I mean? But any kind of way to follow up, even if that's your Facebook list, if you utilize that Facebook list as your follow-up and you go through, that's how you use it, or your notes section on your phone, whatever works for you. But having a system and just sticking with it. As far as follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Can I mention too, you're talking about time management? Because you just mentioned something about Ryan, and I was thinking, I did not do this in the very beginning, and it's something that I've really stressed to my leaders, especially. There are different groups and stuff like this, but having that conversation once you are like, okay, I'm serious about this, having that conversation with what we call your shareholders, because this really is a family business. I mean, it's very much a family business. So sitting down with them, explaining, hey guys, this is what mommy is doing. I wish I would have had that conversation with Dad, because I don't know how many times he said, Lindsay, what are you playing on your phone? And it would make me so mad. But once he understood what I was doing and I explained to him my vision, explained to him what I wanted, everything changed. So I think that helps a lot with time management because you don't feel so guilty. And we have that mom guilt. Like we feel, oh, we're supposed to do this. Talk with your family. Explain to them the potential. Explain to them what you really see. And I feel like that's going to give you that freedom to kind of find that time and stick with it, organization-wise and time management-wise. So just wanted to put that back in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever you can involve your family, they feel like they're part of whatever it is you're doing, whether it's trying to train for a marathon or trying to eat healthier, make better choices and exercise. If you can involve your family, you're definitely going to get more support, I feel. And I think the same goes with your Plexus business as well. It makes them feel valued, because you're working on this goal as a family. Whether you have a spouse, whether you have kids, whether you're a student and you have, your parents and your siblings, get them involved as well. Let them know. Plus, it kind of helps them hold you accountable as well, and they can be excited when they need to congratulate you, and when times kind of get rough and you have a bad day, they can be there to support you. Okay, so as far as some people they're afraid they're going to be pushy whenever they bring up Plexus. They don't want to vomit Plexus on everybody. Everybody's posting about Plexus on Facebook. I don't want to be that pushy person. How can you be non-pushy but still get your passion across about Plexus?
Do you mean in messaging or posting or?
Any of it, conversation, posting, because some people feel like, well, I don't want to share because I don't want to seem pushy. Do you know what I mean? So they don't share because they don't want to seem pushy.
Well, right. I would say don't be pushy. Don't be that girl. If you're nervous about being that way, then don't be that way. Like, there is definitely a way to say, there's actually a video, and I will share it with you later. When we get off, I'll find it. But it's about the red hat. Hey, I have a red hat. It's awesome. I love my red hat. I got it from here. Love my red hat. Or there's the girl that says, hey, here's my red hat. Do y'all want a red hat? You really want a red hat. You would love this red hat. Come buy this red hat. Like, you want to be the first person that's just sharing. You're sharing what it's doing for you. You're sharing what it's doing for others. And I think when you have belief too, your belief gives you confidence, and confidence is attractive to people. Whereas desperation and selling is not attractive. So I think if you're nervous about being pushy, don't be that girl. Build your belief, build your confidence, and that comes across. I have seen that on one particular level, one of mine, just how she has grown so much in her confidence. I can see it in her posting. I can see it on her team page. I can see it just because her belief has been built. And like when she was first posting, I can just see in her post, it was like so timid and nervous, and just how her belief has grown, her confidence has grown. And so I would focus on building belief. Read testimonies every day. Listen to a little snippet about the product. Listen to a Diamond documentary. Things that build your belief in the products and the opportunity. And then without a shadow of doubt that you are definitely not desperate. You were doing them a favor. You were doing those people you were posting to and cold messaging, following up with, you were giving them a gift. If they say no, that is their problem. They'll come back. They always come back. But you are doing them a gift. So I think build your relief because it builds your confidence. Yeah.
Perfect. And just for time's sake, I'm not going to elaborate on that, even though I love to. But two last questions. I know that I said I was going to ask you one more, but I'm going to throw in another one real quick. But before I do that, your favorite personal development books or authors or speakers or events or favorite personal development?
Y'all know this is no secret.
Besides,
John Maxwell. It's wonderful.
I could just swim
he's
all of his stuff.
Anything of his is great. I know a lot of people don't like to didn't really understand how great he was until they heard him in person. So listen to his audios, listen to his videos if you're not a big reader. There's a lot of things, not just on big leadership, but just personal, like how to grow as a better person and just character-wise. A few of my favorites are definitely the 15 Invaluable Laws of Personal Growth. I think that's the name of it. I love that one. That's one of my favorites. I love Millionaire by Halftime because it's just easy. It's by a coach and it's simple. It helps you just kind of open your eyes to the vision of what this really possibly could be. A new one that I really like is A Secret Code to Success, especially for people that kind of feel stuck. They feel like they've been doing this and they're doing the right thing and they're kind of in a stuck place. It kind of helps them. Like I've heard everybody I hear say like, oh, I've had a breakthrough with this. Like really crack the egg and open their eyes to some things. So that's a good one. And anything like, just give yourself a rule of thumb. Even if you're not a big reader, if you're a reader, just give yourself a goal of 10 pages a day. Like I'm going to read 10 pages a day. If you're not a big reader, then just say, I'm going to listen for 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day to something, an audio version or something. How to Win Friends and Influence People, or How to Win with People by John Maxwell. Y'all, huge game changer. It's wonderful. I thought I was good with people before, but I read that and listened to it and I was like, oh my goodness, this is why this person, I love her so much. This is why she's so good, because she utilizes this stuff. So I just got a funny text. But anyway, I love that one. That's probably one of my favorite ones. If you really want to know where to start, and the 15 Valuable Laws of Personal Growth and How to Win with People by John Maxwell. Those are good ones.
I agree. Now I'm gonna ask you a bonus question. Is the last one. So you've been a diamond for a minute, and I know that you've had a lot of experiences that the rest of us haven't had. And I know that diamond life is not all roses and baskets of kittens. So when you have one of those days that you have a customer quit and you have 4 ambassadors quit and you have people complaining about whatever issues going on with the company, and you have people complaining about the products aren't working, and you have your family who is saying that you're crazy and why are you doing this and you're wasting your time, and nobody's responding to your follow-ups. So when you have those times and you have those seasons, and if you haven't had them, you will, just like in life, if you haven't had a storm come through, you will. So how do we get through that? When we're having those down days, or there's down weeks, or there's down months, and attrition is huge and more people are falling off than we're adding to our teams, how do we get through times like that?
Wow, that's a very deep question. Gosh, a couple things came to my mind. The first thing is, I think one no can kind of sound like 1,000. So one, oh, this person, they're not noticing anything yet or whatever. It can just sound like, thunder. So just realizing that, take a step back, look at the perspective. It's just one, you know what I mean? And it can feel like that, and that's okay, but just to know it's one. Second thing is, you can do anything that's hard for a little while. Think about if any of you have had babies. Child labor labor is hard. I mean, it's hard. It hurts. It's painful. If you've ever had natural labor, it is no fun. But it's hard for a little while, and then it's over. So, I mean, I don't know that scripture in Proverbs right off, but, morning's for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I mean, like, it will pass. This too shall pass, whatever that hard day is or whatever. It's how you deal with it and how you respond instead of reacting. That's how people are going to notice you, and that's what they're going to look like. That's how they're going to look at you, and that's how you're going to grow your character and maturity, emotional intelligence by how you respond. It's not just what happens to you; it's what you do when it happens to you. So knowing that, and knowing those character building things, kind of gives me peace, I guess. And knowing that this is just perspective, putting things in perspective. If you have a hiccup or if you have something that's happening, it's truly not the end of the world. Step back, realize what you're doing. Like, I mean, I just told this one girl the other day, you are literally working from your phone in your pajama pants without a bra on, and you're making $1,000 a month. Like, seriously, I mean, I think we all just need that person that can lovingly tell us the truth. And so let's look at this in perspective. And I think too, having that good, let me see, not so much a power partner, but just that safety zone. Know who you can vent to. Don't vent to someone that's going to just pull you down even further. You know, the people that you can whine to and they'll just whine right back. Don't let yourself get in the midst of those people. John Maxwell says you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Make sure those 5 people are better than you. Make sure you get in that circle where you can learn from them and glean from them. So have that good accountability partner and that good inner circle that's going to lift you up and say, girl, give you some tough love, but still put you in your place and say, this is why you're doing this. I want you to step back and look at this. So have those people in your circle that are going to feed that truth to you. So that was not on my question. So I hope these were good answers.
Those are great answers. And I'm sorry I threw that one in, but I just felt like I should. So, because I think that's good for everybody to hear when you're having those down days, and not just with Plexus, but, you know, just down days in life. You know, we all have those down days. We want to complain. And I think that it's okay to have a pity party for a minute. But then we need to pick ourselves up, brush ourselves off, and move forward and be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. It's so easy, you're right, to lose perspective, whatever it is, health, wealth, happiness, relationships, jobs, kids. There's so many things that we can be, have a pity party about, be sad about, be depressed about, and we choose to have joy instead, because that is a choice. You know, whenever you go through hard times or you're going through something, you're like, well, I wish I could have more patience. You know, I used to think, Lord, if I just pray for more patience, can you just dump a bucket of patience on me? That's not what he's going to do. He's going to put you through situations where you're going to learn patience, where you're going to develop patience. I don't love going through that, but I appreciate that about a God that knows more than we do. This isn't a sermon or you know, preaching session by any count, but I think that it's so important. What do we do when we have those down days? How can we get through that? How can we learn? How can we grow? Because even in this business, if we are having those down days and we let them drag us down, and we don't learn from it, first of all, we're not learning as a leader. We're not learning as a person. We're not learning as a leader, but we're also not able to transfer that to our teams. And so I think that is so key. So I appreciate your wisdom in that. I thank you so much for coming on this call with us. I love taking notes because I feel like you have so many good little gems to share with us. So thank you so much.